Can we just talk about Glass Onion for a second? Because Rian Johnson, you magnificent, creative, crazy bastard. Holy sh**. This week we're going to talk about Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery, a sequel to 2019's Knives Out, which was my favorite movie of that year and still resides in my top 5 films of all time. It writes the book on how to do a murder mystery, and Glass Onion is of the same caliber. How it's of the same caliber, I have no idea. I didn't think it would be possible. I didn't think you could make a murder mystery so fun, so clever, so pressing and relevant to today's society all over again. In Glass Onion, our heroic detective Benoit Blanc receives a mysterious invitation from famed billionaire Miles Bron to join him and a bunch of his eccentric friends on a remote, private Greek island to do basically a murder mystery party. Perfect setup for our classic hero to do something a bit more authentic and unique. The film is set all throughout the COVID period, which I found really fascinating as a nice segue into what we have experienced recently. And the comedy, but also just like some of the setting and the tone from there is quite fascinating. The commentary on big tech companies, billionaires having power and influence, billionaires like Elon Musk specifically having power and influence just feels so relevant. But at the heart of it all is some of the best dialogue you will get this year, incredible wit, and a compelling mystery that is almost as engaging as the mystery at the heart of the first Knives Out. I was following along, I had my own theories. Once you hit that midway mark, things entirely tip on their head and change. Even if you have an idea of who the killer is, and you were right early on, the way you understand it shifts. Because there is no way, or very few people who I think would start off at point A of this film and fully get all the key points that get us to the far end. Really, it just feels like it is so well mapped out. Pacing, structure, everything hits all those key points. The music's brilliant, the way it is shot is fascinating, the lighting, every way this film is captured is amazing. Normally I will hit you with some of the best performance of the film. When I say that this cast does not have a weak link, I mean it. But if I had to pick a top dog, even then that is hard for me to do. There is a top 3 in this film. Now, normally when a movie really hits me hard and there's just really good performances in there, it's hard for me to narrow down and be like, this is the best performance. Sometimes I will sit there and I'll go, well, it's between these two. For there to be 3 performances in a film that I can't choose between is rare. Daniel Craig being back as Benoit Blanc, he is a fantastic protagonist. His accent work is great. The way he's quite droll and leans into scenes, leans into the novelty of things quite well, delivers some of the best lines, but also plays someone who is so intelligent and knows how to navigate this mystery, who feels like he can pull the rug out of the antagonist at very surprising moments, makes him just exceptional. Edward Norton as Miles Bron is really fascinating. The ego and arrogance that is captured through him playing this billionaire, while at the same time having that really just bizarrely eccentric personality. Here's this man who thinks that he has remolded the world into something that resembles him, which is just so fascinating because you immediately think of Bezos, Musk, all of these individuals who we've been talking about within our own media, and this in some ways, while a very satirical take on that sort of figure, it hits home. And Norton finds the way to capture that role brilliantly. Janelle Monáe as Andy, oh my gosh, stoic, imposing, graceful. That is what you'll get when you meet her in the movie. You are not prepared for everything Janelle Monáe brings to this role. You are not prepared. There's just no way else to say it. Kathryn Hahn, who plays Claire, just playing this real frantic soccer mom, weak-willed figure who really goes with the flow but kind of is quite quick to crumble and stress out and break apart with these really wild outbursts. Fantastic. Leslie Odom Jr., who is playing Lionel, one of the more restrained members of the group, someone who feels intelligent, but who also feels cowardly at times. So seeing the moments where he reclaims his courage are some of my favorite in the film. Jessica Henwick as Peg has brilliant chemistry with Kate Hudson and also has this real ability to stand up for herself and push herself forward in her own scenes. Henwick is an actress I've loved for ages. I loved seeing her in this. Kate Hudson as Birdie J, my God. Seeing this fashion designer who is a bit ditzy and a bit of a diva, she's not an intelligent role, but that's where the comedy is. And it takes someone like Hudson to know how to deliver these lines, to know how to build a character who is so filled with herself, with her own self-image, that she has become a certain way. The fact that she finds a sense of truth in that, the fact that she has built that, and then is able to deliver all the comedic lines and hit them every single time, takes immense talent, and she's one of my favorite roles. She is a real scene stealer. Dave Bautista, who plays Duke Cody in this movie, has finally broken away from his best role being an appearance in a Marvel movie. I used to think Dave Bautista as Drax was the best Dave Bautista has ever done. Duke Cody is the best role of Bautista's career, and it is right there on screen the whole way through. You see this man who builds himself as this really macho, right-wing streamer influencer. He's so brawny, he's so sure of himself, and every time you get to see him be a bit more weak-willed and cut at the knees, whether it be by his mother at the start of the movie or by stronger people around him throughout the film or situations that arise, it's really interesting. It's great to see how Bautista plays those moments. It's quite interesting to see how he has actually grown as a genuine dramatic performer. This movie will constantly challenge you as a viewer, and it will entertain you. And the fact it does both so seamlessly is to be admired and commended. There are a couple of weak points, but they're not major. Mostly it's just the plot dressing itself up a bit just to keep you hooked. There is a bit near the end of the movie where some characters maybe change their perspective or flip a little. I can't say too much more without giving it away, but it is quite an abrupt moment. I don't feel like it is maybe as earned as what it could have been. I would have liked just a little bit more build into that. But it's a light criticism, because genuinely, when it comes to Glass Onion, I think I found my new movie of the year. I think this movie is iconic. It's a 9 out of 10 or more. One of my favorites easily. When I think of 2022, I will be thinking of Glass Onion. Have you seen it yet? What do you think? And do you have a favorite murder mystery movie? Comment it on down below. And as always, I'll see you in the next review.